Hi again. Today I'm going to talk about changes coming to the plugin API for Howler. Um, we wanted to make some stylistic changes. The plugin interface in Howler is based on COM, meaning it's an ActiveX host, and using COM you can communicate with Howler, pass images and other information to and from the program. Um, our plugin interface is not based on a particular workflow or style. It's basically up to the programmer to decide how and when and where to send commands to the program. But basically, um, the main workflow involves getting a copy of an image, doing something to it, and sending it back, and then refreshing the screen so that the user can see it. There are other ways of working. For example, working with animations, you can do the same thing and then iterate through all the frames of an animation and that sort of thing. Changes we've wanted to make in the API, though, we've wanted to get away from some of the more complex issues of COM, mainly or namely the data types used by COM, such as variant, which is a COM data type. You won't find variant in most other languages like C or whatever. Um, we wanted to just use standard data types such as byte, uh, floating point values, and long data types. To that end, we've made some basic changes, and it really won't uh, alter existing plugins. But anyone writing new plugins will have a little simpler time, um, and a little less code actually involved as well. So let's just dive right in. I'm going to use Visual Basic. Visual Basic is a COM-based language, making it very simple to work with Howler. We could also use VBNet or some of the other Visual Studio programs. But Classic VB is the most easy to use, mainly because it shares the same basic data types of the same size, same byte size. For example, a long is a 32-bit integer value, and a single is a 32-bit floating point value, and they're equivalent. So it's very easy to use Visual Basic Classic. VBNet is also very simple. You'd have to make some slight adjustments to the data types. You'd have to use a integer instead of a long for a long, and that's the main thing. Anyways, so let's just get started. Here we create a Howler image object, which is basically similar to creating an object in Visual Basic, which you would normally do something like uh, that. But in this case, we're creating a COM object, and we use the create object command instead of the new command, which initializes the COM object. And after that point, it works just like a regular object in Visual Basic. It is a somewhat object-oriented language, at least. So once that is done, we can call the functions and subroutines of the COM object, which is pretty simple. Basically, we have just a few in the Howler image object. There are a number of other objects in Howler that are exposed, but we're just going to use this one for now. Once we've done that, we go ahead and get a copy of our width and height. We're going to need those, so we call Howler image dot get image size, and then we pass a temp two longs to it. Instead of returning it from a function, we can pass these. They're passed by reference, so we can do two variables at the same time. They will be then this value tw and th will now contain the width and height of the current image. Unlike the previous version of our plugin interface, these are not actually one pixel larger than the actual image. They are the correct width and height. We wanted to correct that. Now that we've done that, we create an array, dim buff as byte, and then we redimension it temp width, or TW, times 4. This is a byte array, and we have 4 bytes for every pixel. And in Visual Basic, remember that when you initialize array, it uses the upper bound instead of the array size. So you actually have to subtract 1 from that to get the correct size. So we subtract 1 from the width and 1 from the height. Remember to do that after you multiply times 4. Okay. So then we get a copy of the current image, calling howlerimage.getPixels. We pass that an array to the program, and it fills it out with the pixels in whatever it's contained inside our image in Howler. We also pass a command string, or a format string. This is optional. I think it'll default to BGRA, I think. This is a string of 4 characters, and basically any combination of the characters R, G, B, and A. That stands for red, green, blue, and alpha. And this is basically lets you organize your pixels in a way that is compatible with whatever software you happen to be using. It's very useful. But we're going to use RGBA for now. That'll be fine for what we're doing. Windows API may use BGRA because Windows or Intel processors are Little Indian, I believe, meaning the the bytes are stored from right to left instead of left to right, essentially. See, then we process the buffer. We just go from Y to height and X to width. Since our buffer contains 4 bytes for every pixel, we use a step value of 4. We also multiply that width times 4. And then we read in the red, green, and blue channels. We do something to them, and then we put them back in the buffer. And then we send that buffer back to Howler. We do this with Howler image dot set pixels. We pass that array back. This false value. This is a true or false, and it is whether or not to set the alpha channel to anything, or just keep the current selection. Whatever happens to be selected in Howler will be unaffected. I have that set to false. It defaults to false as well. And pass that same RGBA string so we know what format to put the pixels back in there. Then we call Howler image dot alpha blend. We typically do this because if we have a selection, we'll want that selection to be respected. What this basically does is it alpha blends the image you just set in there with whatever is stored in the previous undo step. And that has the effect of alpha blending through the selection. And then we just call Howler image.refresh, and then that displays it on the screen. So basically, this is our, if you go into, where did it go? Video? No, it's under photographic and day for night. Well, this is basically that plugin updated for the new API. Let's see. Here it is. And I'll run that, and there you go. You can see that it has day for nighted our image. So I hope that's been clear. Thanks for watching, and talk to you later.